Good morning. I still don't have any milk. So I thought this morning I would put a little pea and rice powder in my coffee. I wonder how it's gonna taste. I'm gonna put a whole scoop of it in there. Why not? Ooh. I'm not excited about this. You know what? I'm gonna taste this on the front porch. Let's go see outside.
I said it. And that's what I believed because I really have come a long way on this front. It is absolutely how I used to think. It's how I went into every relationship. Came from just being a little spirit born into essentially a massive deception. I was conceived in a massive amount of deception. And when I think we're young children and the only environment or resonance or that kind of floating energy and sensation around us that's there, it's there with you right now. We can choose to ignore the energy or we can be aware of it. I think when we're children, it's not a choice. We are absorbing, and we're absorbing the tone and the energy of everybody around us. And I grew up with a bunch of siblings, and our parents were just like every one of us when we're young and stupid and figuring it out. As a child, when you see a parent devastated, steamrolled, pummeled, a heart shattered of your mom, when that's all you know, and the only thing that your little child mind can understand is that your mom was so devastated and steamrolled by such unbelievable deception. And it looks like she never got up again. It looks like a broken heart broke her life. Then it's really hard, I think, for any of us children who grew up in that kind of environment. The unspoken betrayal, the unspoken devastation, something so unbelievable that you just don't even think about it, y'all. And it's not like each of us doesn't have our stories and each of our families doesn't have their crazy madness. I know that we all do. It's just like there's like getting back to thin mail. She says, over the past year, I've learned that a relationship that allows you to entertain something like that isn't and never will be true love, and it isn't going to last. These big questions really require a conversation. It's hard to take these little sentences out of context. At the same time, a relationship that allows you to entertain something like that isn't and never will be true love, and it isn't going to last. I'd have to disagree with you on that one, soul sister. All we are is accumulation of our experiences. I think in many ways it is not my fault that I have been so shut down in my life from people really getting to know me and from really letting people in. I don't think that's my fault. It's like, how could I? You know what I mean? It's like if you're a kid that grows up in the West Virginia mountains, I can't just say, hey, come on, buddy, let's go to the ocean and surf, and just throw you out there in the ocean on a surfboard and say, surf. And I'm not going to say, God, you suck. You're not a surfer. It's never going to work. You just don't know how to surf. You don't have the practice, you don't have the skills, and you don't have the tools. And I think in a lot of cases, what happens in relationships is that we don't even know what we don't know is the thing. She said, I have to admit, if someone that I love said that they weren't in it for the long haul and started talking about cheating, my feelings would be hurt, especially 20 years ago. Today, I'd be more realistic and realize that people cheat sometimes. and maybe it would be okay to plan ahead. But I would still be heartbroken that they are thinking about the possibility of cheating when we're madly in love with each other. This is one of those really huge things. Huge, massive. And I get that because I have been involved as well with people who don't like my opinion and my attitude about relationships. And why would ya? Why would ya? I am a cynical, pessimistic, beat down chick. I mean, damn, my heart was born with a guarded, double bolted steel cage around it. My heart grew inside of a cage. So the challenge for me in my life is that people have always taken that personally. And I totally get why, because they grew up in those families that at least really appear to function well from the outside. You know, the little mom, dad, little nuclear family thing, and everybody loves each other. And something like the idea of cheating is like, holy, that happens? That's a very different perspective to go into a relationship with. Oh my God, what? The fairy tale's not true? And then you've got me who's like, are you a fucking moron? They're fairy tales. It's a tale. It's fiction. You know, so it's hard. I can get it, how it's hard to not take it personally. I'm changing now, though. I am changing. I'm growing, and I'm coming through to realize that.
Hi, everybody. I'm just sitting here editing this. I have to interject right here on my words because the point that I really want to get across here is when you have two different people who have grown up in such different ways, with such a different framework and understanding and vision of love and life together and what that means. Por ejemplo, you've got one person who's grown up in a family where one of those families that I talked about. Let's go back to the analogy of the kid from West Virginia who grew up in the mountains. He falls in love with the surfer in Cali. And he's going to go into that relationship and they'll have a lot of fun and everything. And then he's going to just start to realize, like, I'm never going to surf. I'm never going to get to surf because I don't know how to surf. It's terrifying. The sharks are going to eat my toes off and then they're going to rip my head off my neck and suck on my veins. That's what the kid from West Virginia thinks. So to him, surfing is the most terrifying thing he could possibly imagine. So when it gets to that crux point of homeboy surfing in Cali who's like, come on, let's do this, honey, sweet child, surf with me. I love you, surf with me. And then you got the boy from West Virginia who's like, but I really like my toes even though they're stuck together. It has never dawned on me. The sharks are the only thing I've thought about my whole life. Are y'all following me that surfing is the analogy for love here? Love, trust, commitment, believing that somebody is going to hold your hand, not cut it off. When you don't believe that's possible, when you don't know that statistically sharks are not going to eat you. Statistically, people surf all over the world in the most magnificent beauty and nature, and they are one with the flow and the tide of life. And they're not worried about the sharks. This is what is dawning for me. And you might be one of these people too who hold yourself back so intensely in relationships because you'd rather just never get your heart broken than love completely, and allow yourself to be loved completely. Actually, that's probably the hardest part of all. It's only dawning on me now in my life is my point. And I am slowly beginning to realize and or choose to believe that the ocean is not full of sharks who are going to devour me. the ocean is full of dolphins. It's kind of a nice thought, isn't it? It'd be a lot less stressful of a life if I could settle into that belief. You all are helping me with it. Thanks for being here. I'll see you on Monday. Have a fantastic 4th of July.